your host on Opus Culinarius, where we focus on creating healthy, absolutely delicious, but yet simple to make foods. Today we're going to make crackers, and I'm going to show you how you can, with just a few ingredients, create delicious crackers. It will take maximum about an hour of your time, and you could make it as healthy as you want by adding as many healthy grains as you so desire. So I'm going to show you a basic recipe upon which you could improvise and do all sorts of things with. So in order to get started, I'm just going to show you the few ingredients that you're going to need to make your basic recipe for crackers. So you're going to need some olive oil, and you're going to need flour. I chose spelt flour because I like working with spelt flour a lot. You're going to need a little bit of salt. You will need some baking powder to make it sort of rise a little bit. And then, as an addition, I chose as my three really healthy ingredients, I chose flax seeds, buckwheat, and I chose amaranth because I just like them. You can replace these three with any other grain you like. You can use quinoa, you can use chia seeds, whatever you want to. If you don't want to use any of these grains, you could just use flour in replacement of that. And I'll show you later how much you'll need of each. And then you'll need a little bit of water. I like using filtered water. Then just for, to prepare everything, you'll need some baking paper, a mixing bowl, and of course your measuring spoons and your measuring cups. And that's about it. So stay tuned and we're going to get started with our recipe. Okay, so now we're going to get to work. So we're going to basically put all of our dry ingredients together in this mixing bowl, and then we're going to add the wet ingredients. So I'm going to start off with about 2 cups of the flour. That's about 250 grams. I'll put my skin. In my Vitamix, I just blended a half a cup of my 3 grains, and I chose amaranth, flax seeds, and buckwheat. So I made a flour into it, and now we're just going to add that. Just measure it off. 1, 2, and 3. Now the baking powder is just going to give it a little bit of a lighter texture, so it's not quite as hard. I mean, I do like my crackers hard and crunchy, but it just gives it a little bit of a texture. Alright, then I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of salt. And that's it for dry ingredients. And you just mix that up. Now, a good thing, if you want to add like herbs like thyme or rosemary, you can add them now. I would probably say for this recipe, for 3 cups of flour, you could add about 1.5 teaspoons of whatever herbs that you want. And then just mix it in. So now that we have our flours in here, all we're going to do, we're just going to create a sort of a well in the middle. I don't know if you could see this. Just create a little hole in the middle. And we're going to add a cup of water. Yep, and just pour that in. And then we're going to add 2/3 of a cup of olive oil. And that's basically it. So we're going to add 2/3 of olive oil. Yummy, healthy olive oil. That's 1/3. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is basically all that it takes to make crackers. Once you have all of your ingredients in the bowl, you can either use a kitchen machine and mix it up until it forms into a ball, or you can use a spoon or your hands, as I very often like using. I just find the process of mixing dough very meditative. So right now I'm using a spoon, and I'm just going to mix everything up until it turns into a ball, which this is soon becoming. And you know it's finished basically once you've reached the consistency in which you can hold it, and you can sort of form them into a ball like this. So this is the perfect consistency, and we're actually now ready to spread it out on our baking paper and put it in the oven, and there you have it. It's all done, and we've only taken about 20 minutes, so very quick and very satisfying. Okay, and now this piece of dough. So I'm going to take about 1/3 of the dough and put it onto a sheet of baking paper. And you can use a rolling pin or just your fingers. I love working with my fingers, so I'm just going to use my fingers, and I'm going to flatten out this piece of dough as thinly as possible. And that's going to be basically my crackers. So once we flatten it all out, And then we're just going to sort of cut it into whatever shapes we want. So, and then now with your knife, just sort of basically, I like having my crackers square, or rectangular actually. So just basically mark off how you want your crackers to look. So I just do a few crosses like that, and like that, like that. And there we go. So I've got my first tray of crackers right there. Now all we have to do is to put them in the oven for 20 minutes around, and they're done. Here I am with a sheet of freshly baked crackers, which we're going to finally get a chance to taste. All right, the first thing we're going to do is to check the crunch factor. Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? And now? Yummers! Yummers, yummers, yummers. They're delicious. And once you make them, you'll understand exactly how delicious these crackers are. They are heaven. They're so good. So get out your hummus, get out your dips, get out your cheese, whatever it is, and enjoy. Thank you for joining me on an episode of Opus Culinarius, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!